Lee Jones here from Hotspawn, and I'm joined by crashies ahead of the Red Bull home ground in New York. And I think it's a good chance to, well, it's been interesting chatting to a couple of people already because it's kind of the first event, I guess, for a lot of new rosters and kind of first chance to talk about things that have gone on in the off season. So I think we just start there really, with your off season and your re-signing with Fnatic. And I guess just first of all, like, what was your plan going into the off season? Because the way things kind of separated with Fnatic when the contract ran out, even kind of when we'd spoken in Paris, obviously at that point nothing would have been
Yeah.
confirmed or necessarily decided, but like generally the feeling was that it was the 1 year at Fnatic and you'd be going back. People were talking about having family back there and everything. So just what was your mindset going into the off season?
So yeah, going into the off season, I just kind of took a lot of time to reflect and really decide what I want in my career and what I want to do. Obviously with our loss at Champs, it was a little bit of like an emotional time for me. So I really tried to not bring too many emotions into it and just purely base my decision on what I think is best for me and my career going forward. And obviously I had interest in NA and Europe as well. So I just really, really like thought deep what I really wanted, and Fnatic was able to, give me a good renewal contract while also keeping me in the loop with roster decisions and what they decide to do going into next year. And yeah, I mean, I just think it was the best decision for my career. And I mean, only time will tell, right? But I don't think like talking about it now, I'm not gonna like regret my decision or anything because I think the year that we spent together was very lovely and it flew by. And I think when you find a team as special as we were and as close as we were, I think it would be kind of a shame just to throw that away just for 1 year. So,
No, fair enough. You talk about the roster stuff there as well. Then, obviously Chronicle is the one change. Um, just just talk about maybe Vekaj first, just as replacing him. Just how have you found getting to know him so far and playing with him?
yeah, so he's a very lovely guy. He's very like it's always nice to get to know, different players and stuff, especially for me being like an NA player. I don't really know many European players, especially like on an individual level. So getting to meet new people and different cultures, it's always special. But yeah, getting to hang out with him and meeting him for the first time, which was London, our London clash, which we just did with Fnatic. It was just very special, and I think he has a very good head on his shoulders. And I'm very excited just to get started with him and play the season and everything. So
What what do you feel like are like the aims for the season then? Because yeah, I guess like last year, in the grand scheme of things, it obviously was a success. Like getting so deep in so many tournaments, obviously would
yeah,
be tough to have not won the global ones in the end. But seeing Chronicle go as like one of the greatest ever of the game, I think it's understandable, at least from the outside, that maybe the expectations would be a little bit less on Fnatic this year, or maybe people wouldn't expect certainly so many global finals again. So just from your point of view, what are you guys going for?
honestly, I love when people underestimate us and don't give us like expectations and stuff. It makes our jobs and lives so much easier because we just play and like I think I said this to Vikaj and the team. Like he's in a very similar situation that I was in joining Fnatic at the time, where people were saying I can't replace Leo and like it's impossible to make finals and win stuff and all this stuff. And we just kind of proved that. I mean, I guess Fnatic in general just proved they have a very good structure, and Boaster this is kind of the GO IGL and can do it with many different players. So I think going to this year, like obviously we're just going to focus on ourselves and focus on what we know we can, do to succeed. And I think it definitely helps that I said Vikaj is in a very similar situation as I was, and Kayak, for example, when Durka was also going to Vitality. I think we can just kind of guide him and give him some tips and knowledge on like how to deal with certain stuff and expectations and pressure and stuff. So
Sure. Speaking of Boaster, then I wanted to ask about his Raze performance against Giant X the other day. Was it to be fair, like he does get like criticism for like his shooting in the game, but like it is kind of understandable given his role. And like you see, like when it like his clutch percentages and things kind of shows you there is a good like actual player there as well. So was it a little bit? Is that like a sort of a planned thing for you guys, like, to, like let him have a game to actually show that he can click heads?
Honestly, it was pretty funny when because when he said he was gonna lock in Rays, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like I honestly didn't know how it would go. But once I saw him like playing and like satcheling, I think the hardest thing was Rays is just like getting the movement down. And he was moving on that agent, and I was like pretty impressed. And not only was he moving, he was shooting. And honestly, I think the 300 ACS got to his head a little bit. He's moving a little different these days. He's overconfident. So I think uh I think it was a good thing to happen. I think he enjoyed it a lot, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it as well. So I think it was just overall just a very enjoyable moment.
Yeah. Going for anything else interesting in New York?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Nothing probably not on the Rays, but maybe some other things, maybe a veto game or something in there for him.
Fair enough. Um, okay, I wanted to ask as well about well, just about just a reminder when you were in Paris when we spoke there, you'd said about that you were still that during Paris you'd been talking a lot to Som. Obviously he's like a former teammate and a friend. And he's obviously just stepped back from play. Made it clear that he's not retiring, that it is a temporary thing, and he aims to come back. But just yeah, what were your thoughts on seeing him take a break? I guess a well-earned break.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him a little bit at the after party, and he was very not like wasn't 100%. He was very unsure, and I think as soon as you're unsure on if you want to keep playing or not, I think it was the right move for him to step down, especially because you have four other teammates and like coaches, and there's so many people involved that it wouldn't really be fair to everyone involved to not give 100%. Not saying that he wouldn't, but I think when you have doubts about continuing to play and like he won the biggest trophy that there is to like win, so he kind of beat the game in a sense, and he already has such a big stream and a big brand and personality outside of that. So I think for him, it was probably the right move. Although I've talked to him a lot of times and told him like you can't compete forever and you shouldn't really take your skill for granted and like streaming will always be there and stuff like that. So it definitely like was a little sad to see him, retire in that sense. But I think there is a world where he'll probably come back depending on what happens. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised that he's just chilling now with even a bigger stream now and just watch partying and enjoying those vibes.
Yeah. Is that your plan? Like, basically just play as long as you can and you want to? Because I know that's the thing. Like in sports as well, like people retire, and as soon as they retire, and they're seeing other people doing it, and they're thinking, "Oh God, I think I can." Pretty sure I can still do it. But once you've had a break, obviously, I guess it's harder to come back. So,
Yeah.
what's your plan in that aspect?
My plan is for sure just keep playing as long as I can. Like I think I'm a very self-aware human where I kind of know when my time will be up. But I think like I still have a lot to give and I still have a lot of passion and hunger to win. And like with this team, I want to win with this team because I feel like we all have such a very special connection where I want to lift a trophy with them and feel the emotions and everything. Even though we won a regional trophy, I just want to win another international because the last time I actually won an international, there wasn't a crowd in the venue. So I don't know what winning with like a full crowd would be like. So I think just like to answer your question on like a short base, yeah, I just want to keep playing for as long as I can. And then after that, yeah, I'll probably just turn into full content like streaming, watch partying with FNS, Som, all those guys,
Yeah,
because we have so much history and stuff together.
for sure. Um, Lastly, towards the end here, I was watching a clip. So Fnatic put out some clips of your London trip. I saw one
Mhm.
bit where I think it was Alfie was like filming by the road, and I think we telling him like not to get his phone stolen because if you did, then that
Oh
was
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
well done on the research. As someone from London, you
Yeah.
you got to be careful of these things.
So like that was very new to me. Like I've never had to worry about my phone just getting snatched by like bike, like whatever they're on, mopeds or bikes,
Hmm.
whatever. But like every time I took out my phone, I'm gripping like two hands, taking pictures, like looking left and right. But it's pretty crazy how like different the world is out there. Like we didn't, luckily for us, we didn't run into any trouble. But like everyone was really nice to us, and the food was good, and like everything was fine out there. But it was just you had to kind of be on high alert because you never really know, you know?
Yeah. To be fair, I've never like seen that kind of thing with my own eyes, but you're aware of it, and yeah, like that, like phone always in the
Yeah,
front pocket, nice grip when you take it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Can't be too
I was
safe.
zipping up my pockets. I was like making sure my wallet wasn't like anywhere insecure and stuff like that. So it was pretty different for me, but like luckily for us, like I said, nothing happened. So
Good news. Well, we'll leave it there then, crashies. Thanks very much for your time. And yeah, good luck next season.
thank you, Lee, and I'm sure we'll chat again. So
Sure.
until next time.